So just before we hop into episode 9, the sad episode that was episode 9, let's hop into the beautiful episode that was set up for the sad episode in episode 9. And I gotta say, I love what episode 8 did, because it just shit on the cliches of, hey, let's be people, let's be characters who just withhold or just common sense dumb in the sense of love and all these other things. Let's hide our emotions, that 24/7. Let's hide our emotions and not even be real with each other. I love how this show, it shitted on that. The park bench scene. Why do you always want to be with me? And of course, William was kidding, and Holly calls him out, saying, "Don't act dumb. You know why I want to be with you." And I love the scene to where Wilhelm calls her out, saying, "Hey, I know you're scared about me going to the surface. I know you know how dangerous it is. You've been there." Basically, is what he's saying. Don't put on that false face. And I absolutely love that they did that. Now let's hop into episode 8. So episode 9. Episode 8 set up episode 9 perfectly in the sense of amnesia. Chitali's other past memories are taking over who she is, or I think they're just kind of like nullifying one another. They're canceling each other out, and the only memories she's going to have are the memories she's having in the moment in her present day that are going to transfer. Because we know that she's lost half her memories at the end of the episode, and we know that Ithia has been through this, and that that was kind of a shock at the end of the episode how Chitali drops that on you. She's like, "I've forgotten half of the memories I've ever had about anyone I live with in this house. Any of these other leprechauns." And I'm like, holy shit. She's like, "I can relearn names, but the memories that are gone, they're gone. They're not coming back." And that's crazy, because you gotta think about real life amnesia. Who do you think is gonna hurt the most? The people around you or you? Because the thing about it, if you have amnesia and everyone around you remembers who you are, but you don't remember them, and you're still human. You're going to be able to tell if they're telling the truth. You're going to believe them, because you're going to be the emotions that are going to be running through them, because you don't remember who your mom, who your dad, who your brother, who your sister is, who your friends are. You're going to see that and you're like, holy crap, these guys do know me, but I don't even know myself. Think about the stress mentally on that. I mean, that's some of the most stressful stuff you can ever go through. Think about that. Everyone knows you, but you don't know them. Nothing could really be more stressful than that. Think about that. Holy crap. Could you imagine, let's say worst comes to worst. You get amnesia and someone in your family passes. Let's see, I hate even saying it. Say your brother, sister, or mom, and you go to the funeral and you don't even know who the funeral's for. Think about that. No, that would be crazy. That would be nuts. Think about that. I'm just saying. And I love that Ithia actually brought that up. It was her time to shine. We got the characterization, and Ithia's already gone through what Chitali's gone through. And it hits us way more than it would for Ithia, because Chitali's our main character. We've seen what her and Wilhelm have gone through with one another. We see her and Wilhelm's relationship. And it's like, well, crap, she's gonna forget Wilhelm too. And there's nothing they can do about it unless they get to that weapon. And that's the thing. And that's the big problem here. Things are going to slowly get worse because Wilhelm doesn't know. And that's one thing Chitali, should have done. I just got done talking about how Chitali was being real with Wilhelm. And Wilhelm was being real with her. Just saying what's on their mind, seeing what's happening. But we know Chitali's hiding this for Wilhelm, because we know how Wilhelm would react. It would put a lot of stress on him. But the worst thing is, Wilhelm doesn't know, so guess what? You could just forget him 100%. You could just 100% forget Wilhelm, and you're heading in that direction. You already said you've forgotten half the people at the place you live with. Given Wilhelm came there way later, so she probably has all her memories of Wilhelm still. I don't think she's forgotten anything of Wilhelm, because you got to put in perspective. Wilhelm showed up way after this is already. These trolls or leprechauns are already established and are living together. So she probably hasn't gotten there yet. Until she fully forgets them, I would say she probably hasn't forgotten anything about Wilhelm. But hey, we don't know how this is moving rapidly, because it's like a 15-day wait to get to the surface, and she's forgotten half the people already. So, I mean, it's moving rapidly. Now, you gotta think, though. It does make sense. I talk about the cliche, right? I talked about the cliche of the tropes of characters always just hiding their feelings, saying, why don't you just come out and say you like that person? It's evident that both of you guys like each other. Stuff like that. And I just got into talking about how this show hasn't got caught up in that. Well, the fact of the matter is, it makes sense that Chitali's hiding this, because this is like I just said, how bad or scary amnesia could be. Think about what the stress it could put on Wilhelm. You know what I mean? Think about the stress it could put on him. I do understand why she's not telling him about all this, because he'd be freaking out. You know, he's probably already low-key freaking out. And maybe he has caught on already. I don't think he has, but maybe. You know, Willem's obviously a very smart guy. We know that. But it does make sense why she's hiding it from him. Because it put so much stress on him. And you got to put in perspective. Chitali knows that she even makes a reference to it last episode. I think episode 8. Not this week's episode 9. But she says, yeah, and you should have dove after that falling child in your state. You should have pushed yourself like that. You're already a broken person. Like, I mean, once again, we know his bones are broken, all that stuff. That's part of the curse. His body is shattered. His organs are shot. So it makes sense, because if he pushes himself, he could die. You know, it could almost be like almost like an eye for an eye situation, to where he dies because he pushes himself too hard, and maybe she dies because, you know, she pushes herself too hard. So that's just really interesting to think about. But one of the references I absolutely love, and the quote I love, is, "As I keep walking, the footsteps behind me keep fading." I love that reference from Chitali. Beautiful. I mean, when I think of this show, and someone's asked me about this show, I say you need to watch this show because it's beautiful. Whether it be beautiful in a sad way, whether it be beautiful in a happy way, it is a beautiful show, and the music represents what this show is. This is some of the best music I've ever heard. Recreators, this. Oh my god, the music between the two of them is so amazing. It's so amazing. It's some of the best music I've heard. I think these two shows have most definitely at least the top 7 best music I've heard in anime. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. I mean, there's Minase from ReZero, episode 18. That's probably my favorite. I mean, other shows would be, if you guys just want to listen to music, I think Fairy Tail is some of the best music in anime. Most people who hate Fairy Tail even compliment it on some music. But just what a sad episode. And this episode, we got off track. Sorry about that. But it just represents accepting who you are. And she's just living out the memories she has left. So sad episode. But I mean, that love confession 18 was pretty. I mean, Willem just said, "Hey, a cute girl's falling for me, and she keeps coming after me. She's being, persistent about it." It's almost impossible for a guy not to fall in love with a cute girl who keeps going after him. Man, that may be true, boys. What do you think down in the comments? If you made this fun video, boys, what do you think? Is it impossible to hold a cute girl at arm's length forever? Is Willem correct? She's always had a chance. I don't know, but does it really matter if she forgets that she even loves Willem to begin with? That'd be something else. We know Chitali's gonna have that red hair. We've seen it in an opening. We know she's gonna go full redhead. But how much of her is going to be Chitali at that point? Over half of it's gone already. How much is left? And the clock keeps on ticking.